feel like a newscaster. Are we recording? Good morning, everybody, and welcome to B County Commissioners Court. This is a regular term meeting that I'm calling to order. Today is Tuesday, October 15th, 2024. The time is 9:01 a.m. We are physically located at the B County Courthouse, Commissioners Courtroom, number 110, 105 West Corpus Christi St, Beeville, Texas, 78102. That was agenda item number 1, the call to order. Moving on to agenda item number 2, prayer. Thank you for this last-minute conscription. Pastor Traylor is going to lead us in a brief prayer.
Let's pray. God, we come before you. We thank you that we can be here today and just your blessings in our lives. I pray, Lord, for our court and our judge. We pray for their wisdom, their understanding of issues and things going on. And pray you guide them in all decisions for the county and even in personal lives too. Lord, I pray for those in the country who are suffering, especially from the hurricanes and the flooding, and pray that you bless those who are going to help and help those recover. I pray you guide us in all that we do, that we may live for your glory and your honor. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much, Pastor. Excellent. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now the Texas Pledge.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Back 1,000. I know that's that confidence. I didn't even think about it. I thought about it a little bit. For those that don't frequent, I sometimes have a conflation of the pledge, the U.S. pledge and the Texas pledge, which causes me an incredible lack of confidence, and then my voice drops. And usually Commissioner Padilla, sometimes Commissioner DeWitt will pick up for me to let me know that I don't need to add additional language from the Texas pledge into the United States pledge. And that's really just a good way. I know we have a couple of young people in the audience today. Look, we all struggle every now and then, especially with public speaking, and the goal is always just to keep moving forward. You will be forgiven when you make little mistakes. Even if people find it incredibly funny and laugh at you, that's still okay too. All right, move on to agenda item number 4, recognition of visitors. This is not public comment. Public comment comes in 2 more agenda items. This is an opportunity for the court to welcome everybody here. Thank you all for being present today. This is also an opportunity for anybody that's in the audience that is not going to, intending to speak at a public comment, that is not intending to provide any discussion during a later agenda item, but would like to get their name on our record. So if anybody would like to identify themselves for the record, please raise your hand now, and I'll call on you, and you can do so. There's absolutely no compunction that you do so, though. It's just an opportunity if you so wish. Perfect. Thank you all for being here. Please come back. Move on to agenda item number 5, Commissioner's Court opening remarks. I have no idea. Commissioner Linney, you were pointing to him, right? Yeah. Sure. You take the lead, sir.
You got it. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. This slide has been 3 weeks, hasn't
It has been. This has been a nice
long break. Anyway, we had the Chalking for Mental Health go on this past week or so, and I had overseen the 5K run for the Chalking for Mental Health group, and then worked at the courthouse helping those guys out the rest of the day. It was a big success. There was a lot of people that came, a lot of vendors, a lot of informational booths that were set up. So it was food trucks, and they had a Dunkin' booth, which I thought you were going to be there, but
I knew there was something to do that.
my arm was warmed up, but
Didn't get your back.
yeah. So anyway, it was a good success, and they're planning on just trying to do it bigger and better every year. So kudos to those guys. I got with Road and Bridge on some road issues and sign issues. The sign issues have been taken care of. The road issues are currently being addressed. So thank you, Road and Bridge. This past Friday, they had the Margarita Walk downtown, and I was voluntold to work that. So I didn't get to participate in it, but I worked it.
Excellent.
Which was fine. And it was a good success. There were people all over downtown and back by the brewery area. So anyway, Also, and a big thank you to our county extension agent, Landon Gulick, and the 4-H crew. And I read these names off because I think it's important to address and have these people recognized. Braden Hinkle, John Hinkle, Arabella Champa, Jay Flores, Nathan Hudson Jr., Jeremiah Hudson, Weston Talaxon, sorry if I pronounced your name incorrectly, Levi Talaxon, Josh Husen, Nathan Husen Sr., Jacqueline Talaxon, Eric Adamez, Danica Adamez, Daniel Adamez, Phoenix Longoria, Gavin Ramirez, Evan Ramirez, Leah Ramirez, Roy Rodriguez, Leah Revanovsky, Levi Revanovsky, Luke Resvanovsky, Domingo Martinez, Bertha Martinez, Romero Ruiz, Michelle Preston, Josh Perkins, Tracy Perkins, Robbie Guerrero, Victor and Linda Mae Gomez, and Arturo Gaitan. If I left anyone out, I am sorry. I was going by the list in which you were to sign in on the sign-in sheet. But 4-H contacted me, and they have to do projects every so often. And Landon actually contacted me about, do we have anything in my precinct needs to be done? And the San Pedro Cemetery was in bad need of being cleaned. And this was a true testament to many hands make light work, because we had cleaned that entire cemetery. I mean, weedy, mowed, trimmed trees, everything, hauled trash off in an hour's time. So all those little kiddos were out there running around, and then we had done a big cheeseburger cookout afterwards. So, but I want to thank the 4-H kiddos for coming out, and Landon and I know Randy Shower, she was part of that. She wasn't able to make it out, but that was a huge success, and those guys and girls got to put a mark on their required projects that they need to do. So with that, I will pass to my left.
Thank you, sir. Y'all know that I try to keep up with wind and solar. We've got a solar company, I think Commissioner Oliveris has sacrificed himself to go to their dinner one night this week, take some notes for the rest of us. Well, they sent me a copy of the contract. This is the contract that a landowner is expected to go through and sign. So I'm not a lawyer. There's a lawyer to my left who can understand all these words, and it's not something a lay person needs to really get into, because there's weasel words all over this thing. They've got all kind of promises about, in year one, you $10 an acre, it goes all to $30 an acre. Then they talk about construction time and how much an acre and time periods. It's confusing to say the least, but I'm sure that Commissioner Alvarez is going to have a clear understanding by the time you get through with that barbecue.
I'm looking forward to reading it down.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Those
Anyway,
numbers sound low.
well, that's where they start. That's where they start. They've contacted several people around Mineral wanting to have them come to the dinner. It's kind of like years ago when you got these deals in the mail, and they were for timeshares. If you'll just show up and listen to us for 30 minutes, you'll get a free cooler or a blanket or a dinner or something else, or we'll pay your travel. So it's the new form of timeshares. Also got a call, and I've bounced this call over to the county judge. We've got a company that wants to put battery storage in B County for solar and wind. And you've probably heard about it on TV. The batteries are about the size of this room, and they put those in storage. Then on off times, they use the electricity out of the batteries back into the grid. From what I understand, they have to have those things air conditioned. And in the north part of the county, and you guys that live out in the rural areas, you like the quiet. Well, if you've got 15 or 20 of these batteries that are this big, they've got air conditioners going, it's going to be noisy. So this person was very persistent, wanted to know if we're going to give an abatement. I said, look, I can't speak for the rest of the court, but I think I know how they feel. I said, I'm not prone on voting for an abatement. He said, well, send me that in writing so we'll have it, that the court won't do it. I said, no, sir. I said, I'm not going to do that. If you want to talk to the court, you come before the court and ask the question. Now, there is an application form, and the auditor's familiar with this. It costs $1,000 for a company to come and formally ask for an abatement. And the one time we enacted that, their check bounced. It really did. I know the auditor came to me about 2 weeks after we got the check, said, Commissioner, we got a problem. I said, what is this? The check has come back, what, twice?
I believe so.
We finally got it straightened out. This was a multi-billion-dollar company. Their excuse was, well, the person needed to prove it wasn't there that day. Be that as it may. Anyway, we've also had another no-through truck request. I'm not sure what's going on, whether it's all new drivers or what. We've already done two. One of them's out here on 2824 when all field trucks started cutting through Shorty, running people off the road. We did one in Toledo a couple of weeks ago where GPS was sending these big transport trucks down a very narrow road in Toledo that is a total, I mean, dead end. It just ends. There's no turnaround or anything. They're having to turn around in these people's yard. I got a call going toward Pettis between Norman and Toledo, where West King Lane is. West King Lane comes out from a caliche pit. We rerouted the traffic years ago in Toledo because they were coming right through Toledo, so we had them coming around. Well, now they're going straight across 181, getting on West King Lane and driving straight through to the Children's Home Road, which is 623. And the people are saying, man, they're running us off the road, they're doing this, so that'll be coming before the court before long, so another no-through truck sign. Everything else is going smooth. The mowers are working. It's dry. I think we have an agenda item to do a burn ban. Everybody's happy in the precinct, so with that, sir, I'll pass my list.
All right, thank you, sir. On the maintenance and operations side, that was the county. Y'all laugh. The community affairs roof is being complete. If you haven't gone by there, I would suggest you all go by there and take a look at it. Mr. Flores did an excellent job on that. And I believe there's an item on the agenda coming up to get the bathrooms upgraded in that building as well. The tax office also got completed. We had a leaky front window that's been made maybe 50, 60 years ago in front, that bay window. It got removed and we got the wall fixed and all the water damage that had been there, so that's done. And Judge, I want to make sure that one took like 6 departments to put together. I mean, everybody from Road and Bridge, maintenance, the auditor's office, IT. I mean, everybody had to get involved in something like that to make it work, to shut it down, just like they did on the generator. So it wasn't done by one person; it was done by a team. So I want kudos to all the departments that reached out there and they did their part. Mr. Ryan got the tax office generator completely fixed, so it's done, and that one also took a couple hours. Shut down the courthouse and all the departments for 2 hours, and we're back up and running again, and that one is fixed and it's ready to go for any kind of disaster storm or anything else, so that's ready to go. The courthouse generator, it's also complete, and they did their testing yesterday. A full load, it'll run flawless. I mean, it was running perfect yesterday, so they ran it all day. They worked from like 8 in the morning to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And I want to thank the maintenance department for being here. John and Gabe were here all day long with these guys, making sure everything was operational and working right. And it'll run on 7 to 10 gallons an hour. It's got a 500-gallon tank, and it'll approximately run this courthouse for 2 days or about 55 hours without stopping. So that's one of the perks there. And there's a couple of hiccups. So Lenny and Mr. Olivares, the generator they're going to hook up over there also doesn't have in the schematics that there's a extra plug for battery a battery charger. So they had to run into that hiccup yesterday. All of a sudden they had to hook up and they didn't have the power for it. So the new generator going up at the EOC is probably going to have the same thing. So just be aware that that's going to check that out. But Mr. Mercer wasn't aware of that, and he was here yesterday trying to figure it out. The sprinkler system here at the courthouse was worked on yesterday and it'll be completed by Thursday. There's a lot of broken parts and components to it, so that's going to be up and running. And thank Mr. Cantu for coming on his day off as well to get out here and study and learn all about the courthouse grounds. So he spent his day off here. And then I had some potholes on Airport Road that were called in. The truck traffic there is pretty heavy. with those new companies that are back there. So I got that going. I attended a Texas Jail Standards Commission Advisory Board last week, and that was my 2 weeks there. So
That's all.
that's all. I'm done. They're coming to an end here.
What are you doing in your spare time?
It's no. These projects are coming to an end already. They're about to be finished. So
We're gonna print more money.
no.
Get more projects.
With that, I'm gonna pass to Commissioner Olivares.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I'd like to start off with a little bit of recognition. First of all, I'd like to recognize Mr. Frank Warner. Thanks for his quick actions after the city council meeting. We were having a discussion in the parking lot. Unbeknownst to me, a truck started backing up and I didn't see it, and he grabbed my arm and pulled me out the way. I mean, I felt the car hit the back of my pants leg, so it could have been pretty bad. So thank you, Mr. Warner, for keeping me out of harm's way. Also want to recognize the South Peak County Fire Departments for saving a person's home this past week due to a grass fire. Quick action by our volunteer group. I visited the place and the blinds inside the house started to melt, so it was very, very close on catching fire. And unfortunately, you know, if you're going to do burning, and I know we're going to bring that up later, do not leave your burn pits unattended, because that's what happened. And the fire caught the grass on fire and it worked its way over to the house, so totally unattended. Homeowner wasn't even home when it happened. Good thing for the neighbor to call it in, so it's good. Also like to thank Sharon Lemon for granting me access to the D drive to the expo, so now we have the latest information on the expo, when the current event going to happen. That was key to last week when we had to shut down the expo center, so understanding who was coming in, who was not there, so now I have access to that. And also something that you shared with me, and Judge, I'm proud to see that we're developing some operating procedures on how to use certain programs within the county. So great for me as a new learner, but good to see that. She's doing a great job. One other one doing a great job is Teresa DeBosque, and we're doing a title search that I thought was going to be an easy, quick fix on identifying who owns Crow Park. I'll tell you all about that more in just a minute. So she did a great job. Took a lot of time. Just some general information on EOC. It's that time of the project where you start identifying things that just aren't quite right. It's always going to happen within a major project. Unfortunately, you know, when the going gets tough, the tough get going, and there are a few people here to jump through the hoops to make a few things happen so we could complete that shutdown. One is Jennifer Reyna. We had to make a payment to AP. We had to expedite the payment. Thanks to April for approving it. Everybody got involved, like you said. We were able to make the payment. AP was able to come out and do their thing. Also, we had a water line that was in a way of the transformer. Johnny Zagidi contacted Rice Plum, and they came out that afternoon within an hour to start working on it. Great job. Anyhow, some of the disconnects after we had all that planned out, we identified that we had a design issue where on the drawing itself, and it wasn't caught, engineering didn't catch it, I missed it, a lot of people missed it, but basically there were two wire sizes. There was a 500 kVA that was showing coming into the ATS, which is the automatic transfer switch, and then a 600 kVA wire. Well, those two wires don't necessarily match. So had a little bit of a disconnect. We worked it out. We do have a game plan of getting that fixed out. It unfortunately resulted in having two shut-ins. So basically, we were able to tie in the south side of the ATS. There's two of them that we had to tie in, so we got that one completed. And then once we get new terminal blocks, then we'll have the other one redone and then installed with a new cable. So all fun stuff for the major project, but that's all part of the course. Great things are happening at the EOC. All of the air conditions have been installed and now up and running. We installed the mini split for the IT room. That's going well. The millwork is currently going to be installed next week. The tile installation is about 80% complete on the restrooms. The tile grid is about 90% complete. The glass for the reception areas, that'll be coming in and that'll be installed. Unfortunately, with some of these changes and design issues and challenges with a few contractors, our target move-in date is going to probably move back a couple of 3 weeks. So we'll let you know once we define a date. Right now, we're targeting somewhere around November 4th, I believe, Jen?
Yes.
So that's our target. That's kind of what we call our P50 schedule. But more realistic will probably push back a couple of days from that. So we're doing our best to meet those target dates. Some of these are unforeseen events. So a couple of things I did. You're right, a long 3 weeks. I did attend the Chalking for Mental Health, great event. A lot of people showed up. I thought, well, people were trying to encourage us with me and Commissioner Lenny. We're going to join a hot dog eating contest. So that was pretty interesting, but we did.
You did?
No, did not. No, I don't think I could eat.
I was waiting.
She was. But, great fun event. I did have an opportunity to attend a community update with Commissioner DeWitt in Mineral. Great event, great people there. Glad I was able to attend. LAPC meeting, of course, that went well, and then also the appraisal board. Just a few things that are happening in Skidmore. I did receive several requests in South Peak County and also other action items. I just wanted to let everyone know that you're not being forgotten about. I did meet with our road and bridge administrator, and they are having a few challenges. They are behind schedule. They are having problems, or had problems with equipment. I think that's up and running. Plus, they're having problems getting materials that are needed to complete some of the roads and some scheduling issues. So that discussion is being done, but you're not forgotten about it. I do like to recognize, though, the homeowners that are taking pride in their property and cutting the grass on county right-of-way is a big help. So thank you very much for doing that. Hopefully that'll catch on and others can do that. It's not much, but still a lot of people rely on the county to cut that right-of-way. And I guess the big message I want to leave here, if you have an issue, please call me at 361-597-6317 so we can have a discussion. Please don't rely on Facebook for action to be taken off of a Facebook post. Call me. There's reasons probably why not getting there, and I could also maybe help educate you on why those things are being done. But call. I'm available 24/7. I know that sounds crazy, but that's how it's been my entire life, and it works for me. Also, I'll be hosting 2 town hall meetings, one on October 23rd at the Volunteer Fire Department in Papalote, and then on the 29th in the Skidmore Cafeteria at 6 p.m. I'm working on a final agenda, but it's going to be a great meeting to inform all of the constituents in those locations, what's happening within the county, improvements that we're making to the county, update on our grant information, also health and human resources. We're going to have a mini health fair, and then we're going to be starting up a volunteer group on how we can help the other citizens that are in need of help in the community. So a lot of great things that are happening. Unfortunately, one of these emails went out. I think it surprised the individual who is working with them in developing the support community. It was like a fire, or someone threw gasoline on a fire. So 2 big issues, Judge and Commissioners, that came up. One was the Crow Park. The other one was dogs. So on the Crow Park has been an interesting subject for many, many years. And for those of y'all that know it, we're trying to determine right now whether the county owns it. It's not owned. Big question. So in the 1940s, the property was donated to the county. So we thought we had it. It even says and has stipulations into the county. But then in 1968, it was probated in Harris County. So now the confusion starts. Okay, why was it probated after it was given to the county in the first place? Then who actually has right ownership? You go to appraisal district, they identify B County as the person assessing the taxes, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we own the property.
We may have never accepted it.
Well, that's a great point. You're exact. We cannot find that information. So we're still working on it. Then you go to the tax office. Well, who's paying the taxes? Well, the county's paying the taxes, but again, it doesn't necessarily mean that we own the property. So thanks to Teresa, we are trying to figure that out. Another point of contact in our auditor's office where they track of properties that are under B County, but are unknown properties that belong to the county. So there's a laundry list of them. And one of those properties is the actual Skidmore Park. So I don't know if we own it or not. I think there's probably an 80% probability it may have came to us, but there's nothing documented to say we actually own that property and should be accountable for the upkeep and accountable for playground equipment and all those kind of things that kind of go along with it. So a lot more water to come on that, Judge. So if anyone has any information would like to share or help me in this, please let me know. I would gratefully take on that information. The other big thing that we have coming up, and I'm glad that Nueces representative from River Authority, we're going to be meeting this week, next week. Basically, there's a grant, no matching, by the way, so that's even better, that could potentially help the Tyner Water District and some of their needs. So we're going to be having some discussion, understanding the groundwork. That is going to be a fast track, unfortunately. We need to get the permits turned in when? I think December 9th. You know, we have the okay, December 9th. So we're going to be moving kind of quick on that, but hopefully we'll be successful with that. And with that, Judge, I think I probably took a little bit more of my time, so I'll give you what's left. But of course, you have the latitude to take as much time as you want.
Oh, thank you, Commissioner. But I'm not going to. We don't pay taxes, right? Okay.
No, we actually don't.
Just wanted to make sure. Yeah, that's really interesting. I enjoyed everybody's updates. Are we lucky that we have an active commissioners court? I spoke to I was at one of those legal education, county judge education programs a couple months ago. And over lunch, I spoke to an incredibly interesting and nice county judge from up in the Panhandle. And I was extolling, I'm not exactly sure how we got on the subject, but I was extolling the virtues of the unit road system, which B County benefits from. Most counties in Texas don't have a unit road system. And what that means is that each commissioner has their own road and bridge budget. They have their own road and bridge administrator, crew, and equipment. It is an incredibly high cost that other counties have to pay when you have 4 sets of everything as opposed to 1. And I think our unit road system, it predates your time with the county. So I'm not sure who we have to thank off the top of my head for
Farm Bureau.
Farm Bureau?
Yeah. Farm Bureau put it on the ballot in 1983, and they forced the Commissioners Court to go to a unit road
And
system.
then they tried to repeal it.
Well, I'm glad they didn't repeal it, and I'm not trying to give any ideas to any other local groups out there. But if you have a good idea, please bring it to us. But anyway, so in having that discussion with her initial response was, well, what do your commissioners do? And fortunately for me, I was not at a loss for words. I could go through and identify not necessarily the specialties, but the things that each one of our commissioners individually brings to the table on behalf of the county, as well as what each commissioner does on behalf of their constituents. So we're very fortunate as a B County resident. I feel very fortunate as B County judge. I feel incredibly fortunate that I have an active commissioners court who is active in doing what is in the best interest of our community. So we should not take that for granted. Thank you, gentlemen. I appreciate your updates. And I will not bore anybody with any of the minutia of any of my updates. Interested in the Crow project. On the battery thing, there are some new articles that have come out in Texas, especially in more urban settings. There's litigation that has been instituted against these battery. I said I wasn't going to talk, but now I'm going to wax on for a few minutes. So there is some litigation going on because of the noise, because of the impact. And so there was a legislative meeting that we had with a public interest group and our Texas Senator Hopeful. And that was the issue that I raised was, Texas, and I'm sure everybody knows this, Texas is the leader in the United States for green energy projects. We are. And one of the things that makes Texas so great for businesses, lighter regulation, a lighter regulatory oversight group, the ability to move quickly and to develop, can also sometimes be one of the riskiest things for individual landowners. And every part of our county, each commissioner's precinct is subject to the whims of their individual constituents with respect to developments that occur on their private property. So when a battery company comes into the county, they have 3,000 potential clients that they can reach out to. Those clients, potential clients, have neighbors, and those neighbors also suffer from the impact of these developments, good, bad, or indifferent, regardless of your politics on that. The thing to keep in mind, especially if you get active in any type of advocacy when it comes to political action, is to understand and recognize that these battery facilities is a relatively brand new concept. Large-scale batteries that are tied into transmission lines, not distribution lines, right? So we have transmission lines going all through the county. They transmit electricity from one place out of the county to another place out of the county. They also do go to distribution hubs, which then distribute electricity. But this battery concept is new, it's untested, there's not a lot of history to see how do these things actually operate. The county, on behalf of its constituents, we have concerns that go beyond the impact to localized individuals around those. And Commissioner Olivares, I think about a year and a half ago or a year ago, you had brought up there was one in your precinct that was planning on coming in. One of the things that most people don't think about is, again, B County is incredibly fortunate that we have volunteer fire departments throughout the county. 8, is that correct? Is 8?
8.
It's the number in my head. Yeah. Of individuals who have full-time jobs and get paid, and then when they're working and when they're at home with their kids or family, they answer the call and they come out and they protect our homes, they protect our crops, they protect our county. In the event of a fire at a battery installation, most of our county departments probably don't have the equipment or the materials necessary to actually stop that fire. Solar farms, we don't have the equipment or the materials to stop a fire in one of those developments. With your wind turbines, we don't have equipment or material. I think probably, well, you don't have materials because it's the same type of fire that would occur on solar farms and batteries. We don't have equipment to get up to the top of the turbine to put those fires out. This is a real and palatable risk that the entire community faces as a result of business opportunity. Business opportunity is great. B County is pro-business. We want opportunities to come in and we want our constituents to benefit as a result of that. But we always have to be cognizant of and look at what is the true burden that the community is accepting so that an entity can come in and take advantage of our resources. So I really appreciate you bringing, that's a very long-winded, roundabout way of me saying thanks for bringing that up. I appreciate it. I always love a platform to talk about, but it's incredibly important to talk to your friends, talk to your neighbors. If they have questions, push them to a lawyer. I'm not engaging in barratry. I'm not asking for anybody to call me, but those are complicated documents. And remember, even if you are interested in any type of green energy or traditional oil and gas prospect, there's lots of attorneys out there that can provide you with guidance, support, and bottom line, hopefully get you more money for whatever it is that you're giving out. So thank you again for your comments, commissioners.
Can I add to that a little bit?
Absolutely, this is getting fun.
On this battery storage, it's my understanding they want to locate those near substations. Okay, so if you've got a substation in your area, it has the potential of having it. Also, they look for the big transmission lines, and if you notice, there's a brand new one been built from Beeville to Pettis. Okay, as you're going between Toledo and Pettis on the right, there's an access road that AEP and big trucks been going down for weeks, back and forth. I think they're building a huge substation back there out of Pettus. Right now, there are no wind or solar farms real close to Pettus. The nearest one is Tulsita over in Goliad County. So it makes me wonder if they're preparing that area for the batteries. They're out of Pettus. But as you're going toward Pettus, that first curve to the right, before you get to the curve, there's a road goes back in there. And there's been a slew of big trucks, in and out, Felici trucks, rock trucks, electrical trucks, and everything else. So they're building something big back in there, and I don't know what it is. I haven't been back in there. So just kind of keep it in the back of your mind that if you are near a substation, you may wind up with one of these in your backyard. And like the judge says, and like I've said too, they're noisy. Because we like our quiet at night. We like to hear the coyotes and the crickets and the whippoorwills. And if you've got these big air conditioners turning, that's what you're going to hear. Thank you, Judge.
Yes, sir, of course, yeah. I think that's a surface site for gas pipeline, Beeville pipeline.
Okay.
I think so.
Okay.
There will be an AEP tie-in to power
Okay.
the
Good.
equipment on that.
Good.
Anything further?
No, sir.
All right, moving on, agenda item number 6, public comment. Are there any members of the public who wish to address the Commissioners Court? Oh, wow, okay, Ms. Warnix, come on down.
Good morning, Laura Warnix, Elections Administration Office. First of all, Commissioners and Judge, I'd like, for my staff and I, we would very much like to thank y'all for yesterday being off. We have been going solid for like a month and a half now and stuff, so it was a nice rest before we hit it, department head. Just wanted to remind everybody that's here and the ones that are listening that early voting starts October the 21st. Runs through that Friday. We're running 8 to 6 o'clock. On Saturday the 27th, we'll be there 7 to 7 o'clock a.m. to 7 o'clock p.m. Sunday 10 to 4. And the last week of early voting that starts on the 28th and runs through Friday the 1st, we will be there from 7 o'clock to 7 o'clock. So please come out and vote. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Warnix, and thank you for everything that you and your group do. Again, you'll hear me say this over and over again, but we truly are incredibly fortunate as a county to have Laura Warnix in our, but we're fortunate to have an independent elections administrator department, and we're incredibly fortunate to have Ms. Warnix in that position. Thank you for everything you do.
Thank you, sir.
For keeping getting votes in and making it available for everybody and ensuring the security of that voting process. Thank you. I mean that sincerely. Also, and I know this is public comment, not really a discussion, but I guess I get to break the rules every now and then if I want
Yes, sir.
to. If somebody was born, if somebody's 18th birthday occurs between now and election day, is there a way for them to get registered to vote in that
October the
timeframe?
7th was the last day to register to vote, but they can register at 17 in 10 months. If they will be 18 on election day, then they are eligible to vote even during early voting.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir.
Are there any other members of the public who wish to address Commissioners Court? I feel incredibly terrible. I forgot, I neglected to add 2 agenda items that I had intended to, which may just be par for the course for the October 15th agenda. My apologies for the other ones that may have been left off. But we do have Mr. Jemison present, and so I'm going to put you on the spot. Bobby, would you mind coming up and just introducing yourself to Commissioners Court? And nothing too substantive is requested of you, but anything that you want to share with us, we'd be happy to hear.
Sure, my name is Bobby Jemison. I'm a 4th generation from Beeville. My great-grandparents moved here in 1901. So I went to school here, graduated from A.C. Jones, moved off and left and came back. But I am now the Community Affairs Director, and I'm really excited about the opportunity of working with the Commissioners Court and the public in general to take care of the needs and necessities of the county.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jemison. We're also very pleased to announce Sandra Musquez. Did I mispronounce that? Musquez accepted a position as our Veterans Affairs Officer. I'll have to make sure that she comes to the next Commissioner's Court so that she can introduce herself to y'all and to the public as well. But she's already, she took the job, hit the ground running, and our veterans seem very pleased And so I'm really excited for her and for us and for everybody in the community as to that. Maybe we'll call that my public comment. Or is there anybody else that wants to make a public comment? I'm not going to annotate the entire agenda, I promise. I'll try to promise. Okay, no further public comment. We'll move on to agenda item number 7. The following items are of an administrative nature. Commissioners Court has been furnished documentation on each item, and all such items may be acted upon by one vote without being discussed separately unless requested by a commissioner or county judge.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? I do want to mention that there was a network issue with the attachments. The only items for approval are the ones listed on the agenda, not the extra attachments. When you saw in your agenda packet a discrepancy. If there's no further discussion, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes without exception. Discuss and consider action on the following items. Agenda item number 8, approve Texas State Representative J.M. Lozano's resolution committing Pettis Independent School District teacher for life-saving actions. And I understand we have the teacher and the student in the audience today. Excellent.
Move to approve. And
Second.
Thank you. I have a motion and a second. That was very quick. Do I have the resolution?
She does.
Oh, can y'all come on down? Yeah.
Where would you like us?
You know what, standing right there is, no, actually, why don't you come over here and stand, that way you can turn and we got you on camera. Would you please, I'm going to read the resolution out, but would you please identify yourselves very quickly?
My name is Cynthia Hesseltine. I'm a 3rd and 5th grade teacher at Pettis Elementary. This is my student Jocelyn Espinosa. She is now in 6th grade.
Excellent. Welcome and thank you for being here today. The State of Texas resolution. Whereas Cynthia Hesseltine, a teacher with the Pettis Independent School District, demonstrated remarkable composure when she rendered life-saving aid to one of her students. And whereas recently a number of students in Ms. Hesseltine's class were given hard candies as a reward for earning a perfect score on an assignment, and among them was Jocelyn Espinosa. After consuming her candy, Jocelyn found herself gasping for air and unable to speak. She then calmly tapped on Ms. Hesseltine's shoulder and pointed to her throat to indicate that she was choking. And whereas springing into action, Ms. Hesseltine attempted to perform the Heimlich maneuver multiple times, she also tried to call the school nurse, but the phone lines were down. So she sent 2 students to fetch the nurse instead. Meanwhile, she made another attempt at the Heimlich maneuver and successfully dislodged the candy from Jocelyn's throat. And whereas, through her skill and quick thinking, Cynthia Hesseltine helped to avert a potential tragedy, and she is truly deserving of special recognition for her outstanding efforts. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Cynthia Hesseltine be commended for her life-saving actions and that she be extended sincere best wishes for the future. Signed, J.M. Lozano, State Representative, District 43. Absolutely. We do want to get a photograph with you and the resolution, but first, do you have anything you'd like to add? No pressure.
Miss Jocelyn is the hero. She was the one just so calm. She wasn't panicking. I thought initially she was having an asthma attack, and then she does this, and then immediately sprang into action. But, you know, it's what a teacher does. And it took a while. I went to find an intervention, and I told her it's going to hurt. I was scared it was going to break her ribs. And I did it. I've never been trained in it. I've only seen videos and posters here and there, but it was a miracle. She's here today.
How wonderful and what wonderful heroic actions. And so good of you to remain calm in a very stressful situation.
And to give the signal, too.
That's
The
right.
signal seemed like 30 minutes, and I don't know. You know, everything went blank. Couldn't hear anything. All I knew is I had to save my baby.
Thank God for teachers. Come on up, y'all. Come sit right here in the middle. Let's turn around and look. Maybe I'll put one hand on that. That looks like I just received an award.
1, 2, 3.
Other pictures, do y'all want to come up and get closer pictures, or did you get good ones? That way we'll be looking at you.
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Any more? We good? All right, congratulations.
Congratulations.
On the recognition. Good, thank y'all.
Great job.
You did. I wish we could
Thank
end
you.
the meeting, you're welcome. I wish we could end the meeting on that positive note. Not to say that we have negative things coming up, because we don't, but it's always great to meet people in the community and to recognize them for great work. Now, I will say this, and I try to remember to say it every time. There is no requirement that you stay for the rest of Commissioners Court. You're welcome to get up and leave at any time, but we'd love for you to stay and see how government operates at the county level. But again, I know I think y'all probably have school today. So your mom and your teachers probably want you to get to school. But if you'd like to use this as a time to learn more about local government, please feel free to stay. And thank you again for being here this morning.
I'll see you later. I'll see you at school.
You know, I had a motion and a second to approve this. We did not. The motion was made by Commissioner DeWitt, seconded by Chris Linney. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion and pictures pass without exception. Thank you, gentlemen. Agenda item number 9, approved library agreement between B County and the Joe Barnhart B County Library. This is a, yes. So I have a motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Is there anybody here from the library that wants to come on down? Thought I may have seen you hiding in the back.
Rosie Amaya, Library Director, Joe Barnhart B County Library. Judge, County Commissioners, thank you so much for supporting the library and everything you do for our community.
Well, thank you very much, Ms. Amaya. Thank you for your role in the county. Once again, one of the things that makes B County as a spot in Texas incredibly unique and incredibly fortunate is not only the generosity of the Barnhart Foundation, but the fact that we actually have a county library that provides wonderful resources, in addition to just having books that you can check out, wonderful resources for all of our constituents in the county. We're incredibly fortunate, even in this modern digital age, to have a brick and mortar place where any member of the public can go in and widen their horizons, take advantage of opportunities to improve their personal stature, and so on and so forth. Thank you, Ms. Amaya. Keep doing what you do. B County fully and unequivocally supports the B County Library, as all local county governments should. Yes, sir. Mr.
Great, I'd just like to add, man, everyone living here in B County is just so blessed to have the library available to us. It's free, great. I've personally used it and had some of the training there. It's a great tool to have, so take advantage of it. A lot of great things are happening here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, I appreciate it.
Thank you, ma'am. There's no further discussion. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes without exception. Agenda item number 10, approved Texas Indigent Defense Commission fiscal year 2025 formula grant request for applications. It's another housekeeping item.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Which one did you pick? Okay, Commissioner Linney has the second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes without exception. Agenda item number 11, approve acceptance of the Texas Indigent Defense Commission Statement of Grant Award for fiscal year 2025 Continued Sustainability Improvement Grant for the B County Regional Public Defender's Office.
Move to approve with a comment.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. Let's have Commissioner Fadias this time.
The comment, I noticed that the amount, the contract service is $1,340,322, and the approved amount funded by the commission is $893,548.
Yes, sir.
So just to know, it's quite a bit of money. We're throwing in quite a bit, so are the other counties, so it is something that's necessary.
Yes, definitely, and they make up that difference.
That's correct. It's a good thing.
Yeah, this is one of those things that the state of Texas really does great, especially for rural counties
Absolutely,
like
we
ours.
actually put the money in the pot.
Is the cost of legal representation only gets more expensive necessarily because attorneys have to eat too. And without a public defender's office, without the support of the state of Texas, B County would be subject to what we call the wheel, which would be private attorneys. Those costs are substantially higher than a negotiated contract with a nonprofit third party, which is what we have. So we are very fortunate to have that in place.
I think we also have the office here in B County.
Yes, sir, we do. Yeah, the old Bobby Joe Myers dentist office.
Yes.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes without exception. Agenda item number 12, approve fifth contract renewal to the participating entity services agreement for the statewide automated victim notification service, SAVNS, between B County and Apris Insights LLC. Again, housekeeping item. I have a motion.
Second.
And a second. I had Sammy and Tino. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes without exception. Those were very clumsy agenda items. I don't think there's a better way to say it, just a lot of big words strung together. Agenda item number 13, approve expo request for arena fee waiver for the Bee Jolly Steer and Heifer Prospect Show on December 21st, 2024, presented by Briley Perkins. Hey, Miss Perkins, how are you? Doing wonderful. Please identify yourself for the record and make your presentation when you are ready.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Briley Perkins, and I'm the chairperson for the Bee Jolly Showdown Prospect Cattle Show, and I'm here today representing Bee County 4-H. I wanted to thank the Commissioners for always supporting the 4-H. I also wanted to personally thank Commissioner Chris Linney and Commissioner Sammy Padilla for their monetary support of our show. If any of the rest of you would like to sponsor, we have some available reserved breed spots. Today I'm here asking the Commissioners to use the arena at no cost. We understand that we will have to pay a maintenance fee, and we are happy to do that. Addie Brown and Devin Rios started this show 5 years ago, and I get to carry on that legacy. This show has brought about 100 showmen per year into a positive environment in the county over the last 5 years, and we look forward to continuing. Thank you for your consideration today.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Ms. Perkins, into the crowd here. You are one of the greatest reasons why B County supports 4-H the way we do. We just love to have the youth of B County come here to show us your composure, your confidence, and your willingness to undertake a complicated, difficult project and see it through to a successful conclusion. So thank you for your time, and thank you for your comments. Excellent job.
Right, and that wasn't a challenge to the rest of the judges.
I think it was. I think it was. I think it was. It was incredibly well done.
Good job.
And just provide me let me know what I have to pay and
Soon
who
we
I
catch
have to
out.
pay. But that was excellent as well. So good job. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes without exception. Thank you again for being here, Ms. Perkins. If you need to get back to school, you're more than welcome to, but if you would rather stay here, I can issue a judicial edict and require you to stay here and stay out of school.
You already talked yesterday, paid out.
That's right. All right, moving on. Oh, wait.
Yeah, I think so. No, we got a motion in a second.
If there's no further discussion, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes without exception. Thank you, gentlemen. Okay. Agenda item number 14, approve expo request for auditorium fee waiver from the First Baptist Church Beeville for their Thanksgiving dinner on Sunday, November 24th, 2024. We have Pastor Traylor. Come on down, sir.
Hello, Commissioners. I'm Greg Traylor, pastor at First Baptist Beeville. We do an annual Thanksgiving meal the Sunday night before Thanksgiving. We normally have it at our church. We were pretty crowded last year at it. We invite others to come. We had some of the Filipino teachers that have come to teach in BISD last year. We also invited CBC soccer players who are from other countries to come. And so we are looking for a bigger place to have it. And that's why we'd like to have it at the Expo Center. And we know we need to pay utilities and stuff, requesting a waiver for the rental fee. And let me just add, CBC Soccer has a 1 o'clock game today. If they win their conference. So I want to throw that out.
Move to approve.
Second. I've got a motion second. Go Cougars. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes without exception. Thank you for
Thank
being
you.
here, gentlemen. And we'll get you the other agenda item on a future agenda. And I'll talk to you all offline about that.
If y'all have already set this up with our,
Yes.
it's on the schedule, good.
Agenda item number 15, approve memorandum of understanding between the City of Beeville and B County regarding health permits for food trucks. Commissioner Lenny, this is your agenda item. You have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Judge. I had been working with City Manager John Benson on this. We had previously had an MOU. It was good for a year. And speaking with him, instead of meeting back every year, we went ahead and made it was a 5-year agreement with the understanding if we needed, if there was a significant change, we could talk about that, annually. So, I'd like to read this into the record. Memorandum of understanding between the City of Beeville, Texas and B County for the issuance of the health permits for food truck vendors. Whereas each party desires and believes that the advantages to work together, create an open environment allowing mobile food trucks to attend events in the City of Beeville and the county. Whereas each party also agrees that permit and inspection fees for mobile food trucks shall be consistent between the city and the county in order to create a fair and equitable environment for food truck operators who wish to operate in the City of Beeville and in B County. Whereas mobile food truck operators can either go to the City of Beeville or B County to obtain by completing the inspection and paying the necessary inspection and permit fees to operate the food truck in both jurisdictions, whether the permit is issued by the City of Beeville or the B County. Whereas the food truck operator obtains his or her food truck permit from the City of Beeville and will be allowed to operate in the county. Conversely, a food truck operator obtains his or her food truck permit in B County will be allowed to operate in the City of Beeville. Whereas the city and the county agree to work to provide an inviting environment to encourage diverse food truck businesses in the community for events planned in Beeville. Therefore, the city and county have reached a mutual understanding that is mutually beneficial to encourage food truck businesses to flourish and be available for any planned events open for community members. So part 1, the food truck operator may obtain his or her annual health inspection and health permit through either the City of Beeville or B County. Subpart 2, both the city and the county shall have state certified health inspectors perform the required health inspections and agree to follow state of Texas food establishment inspection requirements. Each entity may have a different approval to demonstrate approval for the food truck permit from said jurisdiction. Subpart 3, to aid in the enforcement and verification of the food truck health permitting, the city and the county agrees to require each food truck to which a health permit has been issued to be displayed the permit on a window or other location on the front of the food truck so that the permit can be seen from outside the food truck. Sub 4, the city and county agree to charge the same fee for each food truck operator applying the food truck permit, which shall be $150 for an annual food truck health permit. Subpart 5, the city and the county agree once the food truck operator is issued a health permit, where it is from the city or the county, the other entity will accept the health permit that has been issued by the operator and allow the food truck to operate within its jurisdiction. Subpart 6, so as to prevent confusion and increase cooperative between the entities, the city and the county mutually agreed to provide the other entity with a list of health permits issued to food trucks each week. Said list shall include the name, contact information of the food truck vendor in which the permit was issued. Subpart 7, the city and the county agree that the memorandum of understanding shall be valid for a period of 5 years from the date of approval, indicated below that each entity may review the memorandum of understanding on an annual basis to determine whether the intended purpose are met or request changes. The memorandum of understanding is entered into this day, which would be October the 15th, 2024, by and between the City of Beeville and B County. So nothing has really changed on the memorandum compared to the initial one last year, other than the 5-year time period, plus the fact that they're wanting the vendors to please put your permit in the window or the front of the trailer so they can be seen by everyone. A lot of times, you'll have to say it was done by the county or vice versa. If say city walks by, they don't see it, and they're asking them for it. Some of these vendors get a little upset. You know, they think that they're being harassed when they're really not. If it's not visible, then it's their job to ask them if they've got the permit. So this way it's accessible to everyone to be seen, and there should be no questions.
Thank you, Commissioner. Is that a motion to approve?
That is my motion, sir.
I have a motion. Do I have a second? Second. I have a motion and a second. Further discussion? I know that today, this morning, thank you for reading out the memorandum, and thank you for providing an explanation of where we are now, would indicate that this is a relatively minor matter, but I want to commend Commissioner Lenny and thank him on behalf of the county. I know there was a lot of work and a lot of effort and a lot of discussions between the city and the county with respect to actually getting us back to what is a beneficial arrangement for small vendors in B County. So thank you, Commissioner. Great job.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes without exception. I'm noticing that my speech is starting to lose enunciation. I'm fine. No stroke is happening that I'm aware of. Agenda item number 16, discuss and take no action on the pros and cons for the relocation of the maintenance building currently located on Expo grounds. Commissioner Lenny, this is your agenda item.
Yes, sir, Judge. Just what it says. I wanted to bring this to the court on the maintenance building that is out in the Expo grounds. Looking at how people are going to go to the new EOC, that building is in the way. Not to mention it is an eyesore. And we've talked to John about the building, and his response is basically it's used for storage. So we've gotten quotes what it's going to take to move the building and hook up electrical, water, sewer, everything, and it's a huge amount. But what we're thinking is, you know, there are 7 offices in the EOC that's being built right now. John can utilize one of those. He has an office at the bailiff's office. He has an office in the Langley building. We don't need multiple offices for one person. He can utilize one of those or several of those. We can move that building down where it originally was talked about being moved and not hook up any electrical or anything like that. But if it's used for storage, it can continue being used for storage. And at some point in time, if we do need to hook it up, it's sitting down there what originally was planned for, and the hookups are easily accessible. So I want to bring that to the court to see what you guys thought, if y'all had any other ideas, and then we'll proceed with action with next meeting.
I'm going to open up the floor for discussion.
I totally agree. I drive through there periodically and try to envision what the public is going to see. And I want all of y'all now to consider you're not from Beeville, you've never been to the Coliseum, and you go to the Community Affairs office, which is now at 210 East Corpus Christi Street, which won't be there anymore. And you say, I need to get electrical hookup, I need sewer. So you're sent to the Coliseum. You go to the Coliseum, and there's a thought process, well, I'm going to park in front of the Coliseum and walk back there. Well, that's great, except it's not going to happen. The public is going to drive as close as they can to wherever they're going. And maybe you're in a wheelchair. You're going to have to get over there. Well, I agree totally with Commissioner Lenny. That building is right in the way. That's the side everybody's going to go around, and they're going to see this old building sitting there. And they're going to want to this building, and we're going to have to be careful how we do the fence, and we need to be sure the sidewalk is wide enough for a wheelchair. But I agree totally. There is an office currently in the bailiff's office. That's where the computer and desk are. There's another one in the Langdon building. We have 2 extras, if you would. When we built that building, we specifically built extra offices. We used the idea that if we have a hurricane, DPS may need an office, Parks and Wildlife may need an office. The other 360 days a year, they're going to be sitting there. So John could theoretically move his office into that, or he could keep it in the bailiff's office. But the building, if it's only being used for storage, it doesn't need water, it doesn't need electricity. The staff has a break room further down by the old horse barns. They have a break area. I totally agree, and to move it, like I say, if we ever decide to hook it up again, it would be down there out of the way. There is another storage building down there near the old restroom. It is the old restroom, but there was an air conditioner in there making a pile of noise for a long time. And I asked what that building was. Well, that's storage. Well, I'm not sure how much storage we need out there. But I totally agree. Let's get that thing out of the way. I've looked at it several times. And my vision is get it out of the way. It cleans that up. If nothing else, that's for the public can park when they walk around and go in the building. But it needs to go. It really does. And we have substantial funds in the account for Expo that can move it. It's probably one of those simple things. It's on runners, I think. If it's disconnected, you can probably put it with a tractor down where you need to go. I don't know why we're talking about $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 to move it. That's hiring a contractor or whatever, but I think it can be done very, very quickly. It needs to be done soon because they're getting ready to start pouring concrete for a parking lot and everything else, so it needs to be moved, Judge, like in the next 10 days. It really does. I agree with you totally.
Thank you both. Any further discussion?
Now, just to kind of add some clarity there, you're right, during initial design, the traffic was going to actually flow between the maintenance building and the expo building, and then that was going to be the main entrance to turn in. And then what the team did is we went out and secured some pricing to see, hey, what would it cost to actually move the building away? Unbeknownst to me, later that came and said, no, we do need to have a fence to isolate the expo building to keep it from theft, vandalism, and so forth. So that added another dimension to where the location was. So now that the fence is going to go where right directly behind the maintenance building or the maintenance office, and then we're going to move the actual entrance to the gate a little bit further down. So yeah, we got some prices. Some of the pricing did come in a little bit high, but the decision to move it was not decided as of yet. But it probably would be a good thing to go ahead and move that building further down. Now, as far as it going to a storage building, that's new to me. I thought that was John's, or the maintenance position. I thought that was the actual office. Every time I went and visited him, he was at his desk or something, but I didn't realize that was just a storage building.
Well, it is his office, but he utilizes it mostly for storage. But the point was that he has, office here at Langley, and then there's offices available at the EOC that's currently being built. So if he's going to utilize it for mostly storage, let's get it out of the way, continue using it for storage. And like I said, then it's set up if some, 5 years from now, we need to utilize that as an office for whatever reason. It is set up down there where the electrical and sewer and water hookups are readily available.
So that's his wish for it to become a storage and him move? Have y'all had discussions with him?
It's not his wish.
Okay.
We need to look out for the public and not maybe an employee that says, I want to keep this office, this office, this office, and another one over here. We need to look at what's best for the public, period. That's why we're here. Health and safety for the public, and we'll go from there. Yes, ma'am.
His office and my office is just temporary.
So as far as the officing for maintenance, my office will address that.
Yeah.
I'll talk to the maintenance supervisor about that in the next couple of days. As far as the discussion that we're having right now, I really appreciate you bringing this to the court's attention. We'll make sure we'll get it on the next agenda. If we need to move more quickly, we can call a special meeting. I don't know what the quotes are or what we're talking about as far as cost is. My concern is always, it's very, and several of the individuals that are in the room right now will know my feeling on storage. When you don't address it, when you provide storage, what happens? It just gets filled up with a bunch of junk that nobody's ever going to use. And we have nooks and crannies, especially in this courthouse, that are filled to the gills with stuff that nobody knows whose it is, who's responsible for it, or what it is. And I would prefer to just get rid of it. So Storage as a general concept to me sounds like something that we can probably throw everything away or sell it, do whatever we have to do to maintain state compliance with our assets, and move on down the road. But really, really good idea, and yeah, let's get it done. And if we have to relocate that building, we relocate it. And if we have to tear it down and get rid of it, we tear it down and get rid of it. But let's look at all options and see what makes the most economic sense for the county. Any further discussion?
That's exactly what I wanted for.
Any movement at all. If Road and Bridge can move a 100-foot cover with their staff in a matter of an hour, why are we going to pay anybody?
Even better. Let's do it for free.
I like the idea of like the storage issue. We just need to just demolish that building completely.
If it's on skids already, I mean, Ray Longoria and Jonathan, they're pretty sharp about if they can move a building that size from the sheriff's office and move it all the way over,
Right.
without tearing it down, that's something they can.
And it is a better one than what they do have in the very back where it's supposed to be moved. They utilize one back there that they, I want to say, go and they protect themselves when it's cold or whatever, what have you. And that is in worse shape than this one. So that could, of course, be an option.
I just don't see paying any money for
No.
anybody.
I love that thought.
To tie in what the auditor's saying, to do that, it needs to move on back by the horse barn and not stop at the old restaurant.
Right.
That way, the staff does need a place to get out of the
If
weather.
we can, and I
A place to eat their
love the
lunch.
idea,
No
But you also think that EOC has
Sure.
got a conference room, a break room, a breakout room. You know, it's not being utilized.
Right.
24/7
That conference
or-
room in the auditorium, it has storage. It used to be utilized and it used to be rented out, and now it is a storage. And I believe they are going to paint it. I just saw paint come through with a PO that said that they were going to paint the kitchen area and the conference room. So I was really happy to see that because, again, why do we need storage?
Plenty of places they can go get out of it.
Well, the only thing we need to remember is that some of that may not be open on weekends when they're having to be there for a roping or whatever to maintain everything. So that's why they need their facility out in the back. And they may be sweaty, dirty, whatever, and they need a place to take a break in the shade. But I agree, that building would be much better use for that than both storage.
Great discussion.
Road Bridge could definitely do that.
Oh.
Yeah, I agree with Mr. Bates on that.
Yeah, and it makes it a lot simpler now. You don't have to deal with sewer and electrical. Those are the two hiccups that was driving the cost up, just those two lines. But great idea, Commissioner. You're right. We didn't Roads and Bridge to do it.
But when we do, we'll just point you to.
No.
You know, let me lead you through what happened. Let me lead you through what happened with that building that we moved from there over to Road Bridge. I was directly involved, and at that point in time, we were thinking about moving it over to the new sheriff's office. And Road Bridge were standing there, man, I don't know. Well, what if we gave it to you? Oh yeah, you know what? We can probably do that. Remember? It was interesting.
Hey, that was something to watch.
Well, and then we got the extra 13,000, built the other sheds. It was a good thing. Anyway,
Good job.
It can be done.
Great. We'll look forward to seeing it on the
Good
next agenda
discussion.
or a special agenda. Just let me know, Commissioner Lenny, when you're ready to pull the trigger on whatever the decision is that you think.
I just wanted to get an idea of what the court felt as a discussion only, before we actually took any action.
It was excellent. Good job. Thank you. Okay, moving on. Approve request, agenda item number 17, approve request to amend agreement between B County and B Development Authority, BDA, for lift station project. Commissioner DeWitt, I have this down as your agenda item.
Yes, sir, because what it is, we have American Rescue Funds set up for the lift station project. Well, that project doesn't look like it's going to get done in a timely manner, and we risk the possibility of losing those funds. Commissioner Farias came to me and said, we've got these other projects that we can substitute. We need to call a meeting, so we had a virtual meeting, email meeting. The ARP committee agreed, let's go with these other projects in substitution. It's my understanding that the contracts are not completely finished,
Correct.
What I would like to do, Commissioner Cortez, would you tell us what they are? Because I do have a motion.
One of them is the sprinkler system out there in VT 2425. It's going to be redone. The other one is the cost for paying for the grant writer, and those are two qualified costs there. And the third one is the facade on VT 26 will be redone also. And they all qualify under the ARP. Ms. Leach already checked all the boxes, and she said yes, they're a go. And the executive directors out there getting the final bid, I think, today to get all our procurement the way we do it here. So everything should be in line. I think the first one will be in the paper. The RFP for the grant will be in the paper this week.
It's my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, that we have, how much is it, 175,000?
168 remaining.
168,000 that was for this, we're gonna take that whole amount and move it over for those projects, and it's gonna take up the whole amount. And we're working on the final paperwork now. What I would like to propose to the court is I'll make a motion to go ahead and approve this, pending final approval by the county judge. That way it can keep moving forward. We can approve these things now, and if there's something that needs to be tweaked, we can bring it back to the county judge and make that decision. But I would like to go ahead and make a motion to approve it.
I have a motion, and I have a second. Thank you, Commissioner Rodriguez.
Thank you, sir.
Further discussion? So just walk me through this real quick. When we originally agreed to expend ARPA funds for the benefit of the BDA at the lift station, did we enter into a written agreement with the BDA with respect to providing funds to that lift station?
Correct, sir.
We need to terminate that. And we need to do it with the consent of the BDA. I presume that the BDA is aware of what's going on, and
Yes, sir.
but I don't want to put the county in a position where we've committed and we're bound by two contracts, because it wouldn't be from the BDA. I have no concerns about the BDA in relation to dealings with the county, but I do have concerns if the BDA has entered in any contracts with third parties in furtherance of the lift station project that includes or accompanies or somehow binds the payment of funds that would put the BDA in a difficult situation. And I don't know, do you know, is there anything like that? I really think that agreement
and Jennifer will probably bring it up.
terminated.
As far as the engineering part to the lift station, we have a paid for.
Didn't we pay for that?
It's paid for. Yes, ARPA paid for it.
That was the
It's paid for, correct?
So the agreement with the BDA was for the engineer for the lift station project.
Right.
The problem that we're coming into is that BDA has been unsuccessful with securing a grant to pay for the actual work of the lift station. So we've expended, I want to say roughly $30,000 for that engineer up to this point. But the rest of the agreement for the engineer is through the duration of this project, which will go past 2026 when these ARPA funds are to be expended.
When does the BDA meet next?
We just met, but we can meet.
I think we have time, because it sounds like getting these contracts or the alternate work done is going to take a few weeks. And if y'all disagree with me, that's okay. I would prefer that the BDA and B County mutually terminate the agreement to expend these funds in a specific manner.
And recreate.
At some point in time prior to us,
We can get it done.
Yes.
committing additional.
That wouldn't be any problem at all.
I'll
Okay.
get with Angela immediately. She was working the language for an amendment to it, so we'll just go around and do
Instead of
it.
amendment, termination.
Either. I mean, if you can amend the existing agreement to pivot away from that, I just don't want to
Yes.
create any.
Yes, that was the intention, to do the original agreement, but amend this X amount, 168,000 will now be shifted towards this portion of these projects, which are those ones that Commissioner outlined.
Okay, and we have to bring that before Commissioners Court for approval.
Yes.
So I have no problems with the motion that you made.
Let me withdraw my motion and make a motion to table this for future action.
Are you sure? I'm fine with proceeding
Well,
on it.
if you're fine with that, I'd
I
like to proceed. That way
am. I
it's
feel
done.
comfortable that we can get
Okay.
both things done. I feel comfortable with this discussion.
And with the permission, the grant writers have been guiding us all the way through, so the 3 projects that we are gonna substitute, they all qualify.
Great.
So they all qualify, and since we can't get the grant in time, our deadline is fast approaching.
It's coming up,
It's either,
especially the holidays.
we're gonna lose out on that, so instead of losing out on it, do the infrastructure upgrades up there to use that pocket of money, that bucket of money, and then we've already set aside money to finish the 119.
I think it's a great idea, and I think we should proceed with your motion, but personally.
Let's proceed.
Okay, and then we can, next agenda,
Turn it down.
yeah, and I can work with Mr. Dominguez, and then, the next PDA meeting, they can confirm, and everything will dovetail nicely. I apologize, that was the first thing.
No, good catch. Good catch.
Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes without exception. Excellent, thank you, gentlemen. Agenda item number 18, approve request to submit procurement for grant writer administrator for the 2026 grant round 14 for the Historical Commission Preservation Program. Commissioner Farias, this is your agenda item, please.
We, along with Jennifer and Debbie, and we had a tour here with the, what was it? Komatsu. They're engineers for historical buildings. They're doing one in Imperial right now. So we had them come over along with maintenance and the auditor's office. We toured the courthouse. They noticed all the deficiencies in it, and we're going to try to revive that old contract that was never completed here before. Right. So this is just the beginning steps to move forward.
And for the court certification, I believe, and I hope I'm not wrong, because I'm just going to confuse everybody, but I believe that when you said the existing agreement, there are unexpended funds that we had initially qualified for that we didn't expend in the initial historical renovation.
Back in, I don't know what year that was,
I don't
whatever.
remember what year, and the Historical Commission has increased that threshold from 6 million to 10 million. So
Awesome.
we had a bucket already, and then now we've added.
We have
to that
1.9 million that was unused on the first round. And then in, when 16 or 18, or I don't know, whatever, they upped that limit for all the buildings that qualify historically, like our courthouse. So there is another pocket of money that we can qualify for. So we're just trying to, they came by, they took pictures of all the rooms, Commissioner DeWitt's office, the second floor, third floor. We went everywhere. We went up all the way to the top.
Did you include the clock?
We
Painting the clock?
They took pictures of everything else.
Yeah, they took even
The outside.
no
The torch.
The
Please
torch. I
get
know,
that
Please,
torch.
the torch and the clock.
I said the judge would like the torch back up there. So
That clock,
we-
that's
No, wait.
$500,000 to do. the
We don't
clock.
have to replace the torch. That's where our owl is housing himself now. At
Our
night,
owl?
The owl is up there, up there.
He should hit up the Facebook page, and it should be trending, so somebody do that.
Commissioner Jennifer, in all seriousness, when we're putting this together, don't forget the face of the clocks.
Yes.
They look bad.
No, they took lots of
Ev-
photos. They've done
Everything, whatever we
extensive
didn't
lists
pick
of
up,
everything.
this is their world, so
And
they
I
knew
hope
what
so.
to take pictures
I
of.
hope they can find a picture that face is white and not black.
And
I
the
don't know, sir.
backup that I submitted, gentlemen, is the last go
They
around.
go by a historical photograph.
But it's similar to what the next go around in 2026 is going to be. So it's not the one for this current one, but just so you guys can get a feel of what it entails.
Thank you so much, Jennifer, for everything you do for the county.
Thank you, sir.
What a yeoman's job. April, thank you for having Jennifer. Jennifer is like our community affairs department, is a bucket in which we throw everything we don't know where else it fits.
No, it is.
Deadline.
So basically,
I'll
that's
fix it.
just trying to put the first foot forward and trying to
She's young, she's
get the
young.
courthouse up.
Excellent. So, do you have a motion?
I make a motion that we approve the submission for the procurement.
Yes, the procurement for the services.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes without exception. This was an excellent meeting, gentlemen.
Thank you, Court.
Agenda item number 19, approve per diem rate changes for fiscal year 2025 as established by the General Services Administration, GSA. Madam Auditor, you have the floor.
Yes, this is an update to personnel policy number 17.09, and in there, it does say that there will be updates from the GSA, and so this is what this is for this fiscal year 25.
Move to approve. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes without exception. Thank you, Mrs. Cantu, for your presentation. Agenda item number 20, approved resolution authorizing submission of a Texas Community Development Block Grant for the Colonia Fund Construction Program. Madam Auditor, this is your agenda item as well. All right, how do you? Oh, Mr. Bianchi.
Yes.
Come on down, sir. I'd ask that you identify yourself for the record, and that way I can write your name down too.
Philip Biatrick, Nueces River Authority. This resolution is to approve applying for the Texas Department of Agriculture Colonia Fund community application. This fund is for $1 million toward a colonia within the county for water, wastewater, housing infrastructure, or drainage projects. The deadline for this application is December 9th for phase 1. Then if invited for the project application, that is due in the summer, June.
Excellent.
I think you told me we almost got on the list this last time. We were what, second or third?
Yes, this past year it wasn't going to work out to qualify, but this coming year, according to the scoring process, it looks like B County will be within that threshold of the next this cycle, the next 7 that should be qualifying.
One thing that Mr. Rutherford and I talked about is Pettis, the water and sewer system was put in back in the 40s and 50s, and they're in desperate need of infrastructure improvements there. And I know you have some down in Tynan also. I would.
There's more colonias in B County than y'all. I saw the list that he bought us.
Oh,
and it was,
trust me, I know where
it
they
was
all
extensive.
are. Everything's in Colonia, but I would recommend to the court that we look at our water and sewer systems as our priorities. Housing that's great, but if we have a hiccup on our water and sewer systems at Tynan or in Pettis, we've got a lot of people without water and sewer. And we've already spent many hundreds of thousands of dollars of ARP money in Pettis and Tynan and Skidmore. And I'd recommend we continue to focus on those areas for the infrastructure for water and sewer.
Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Biatrick, for your presentation. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Just to focus on the water and sewer.
Sounds good. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes without exception. Once again, Mr. Biatrick, thank you for being present this morning. Moving on, agenda item number 21, approved funding request for electrical updates to the Langley building. Madam Auditor, I have you down as this being your agenda item.
Well, I will
Defer to construction manager, but yes. All right.
Construction expert.
we have when we did the ceiling grids and everything else, they're still in the boxes. They're still there. We can't put those ceiling grids up because there's wires and J boxes hanging up there. They're just exposed and not. We can't put the ceiling on that room because of the electrical. We need to take care of this before we do anything else. And the ceiling grids can be put on maybe in the wintertime by some of our maintenance staff that might be rained out or cold out or whatever. They can go work in that building and put some of this stuff back up there. But we need to do this first before we move forward with anything else in that building. And we have the lighting, and they're just about done with it already. So.
Is there already a drop ceiling grid?
Yeah, the grid's there. Grid's there. The light grids are there. Everything else, except there were just. You saw it. It was a pretty dire straits. You were like, how are we going to put this light there? And it's hanging with a piece of wire, or it wasn't done properly, or anything like that. So.
Do we have an estimated cost?
The estimated cost on this is $3,300.49 for complete job.
That's your motion,
That's my motion to approve this.
I have a motion and a second. Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All
Thank you.
opposed? Motion passes without exception. Agenda item number 22, approved funding request for restroom updates to the Community Affairs building. Should I just go ahead and look at Commissioner Fedias, Madam Auditor? Commissioner Fedias, you have the floor, sir.
This has been a lingering problem that Randy Showers brought to my attention and some of the others in that building. They have classes there with elderly people, young people, or whatever. Those bathrooms are not
are not compliant. They were built back in, I don't know what day. The doors are 30-inch doors.
They're very narrow doors. They're very small restrooms.
So I've gotten an estimate from T. Florida's Construction, and the estimate for redoing both of the bathrooms is $19,750, and that's complete floors, fixing them up. And y'all haven't gone to see the tax office job that they did over there. I mean, they did an excellent job. The carpenters, their workmanship there was way above. They did a few extras too for us at the no charge.
We'll find out next rain.
Thursday.
No, let's
They
bring
missed
the rain
Madison
on.
on
Thursday.
You just
Well, they
get a
said
water
Thursday, but
hose,
now
guys,
they
and
moved
put it
those
up there if you want
channels.
me to.
They'll throw up their water bill.
So I'm asking the court that we.
I'm sorry, man.
Okay,
What were you gonna say?
So LIT from 12409 for this project, from the money that we had put into building improvements in 409, I'll be doing an LIT for this next
Sounds good.
Air conditioning money we were stashing away more for this year.
Excellent.
All
I
right.
love it.
So I'm gonna ask the court to approve the $19,750 for the upgrade on both the men's and the women's restroom at the Community Affairs Building.
Is that your motion?
That is my motion.
Apparently so, and we have multiple seconds. I heard Commissioner DeWitt first, my apologies, Commissioner Olivares. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes without exception. Agenda item number 23, approved request to submit procurement for grant writer administrator for fiscal year 2024 state and local cybersecurity grants. This is an agenda item that is being presented by Mr. Oliver. He's not able to be in attendance this morning. He did submit a letter of approval, or a request letter. It's in your agenda packet on page 126. This is to approve this process. This is the first stage, of course, in the process, and I support it. I mean, at this stage, we're not committing any funds. We're committing a little bit of time, but it's Jennifer's time, and as I just said,
are you helping
for all
with
that
this?
you
Yes.
do.
Okay.
Yes, I have all the backup.
A lot of
He
assistance.
needs, yes, he also has been instructed that he will have to do a lot of the heavy lifting. He's in charge of this grant. Jen is just support. She is not heading up this grant.
Move to approve.
I have a motion and a second. Thank you, gentlemen. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes without exception. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, Jennifer, for your lots of volunteering going on here. Agenda item number 24, approved county burn ban order prohibiting outdoor burning. Mr. Garza.
Morning, everyone. Ryan Garza, the emergency manager for Beeville County. So I had another conversation with the fire chiefs throughout the county this morning. All but one are in support of issuing a burn ban due to the current conditions and the cold front that's approaching, more dry and windy conditions. We'll start having more and more fires. So at their request or their guidance, they are in support of moving forward with this.
Thank you, Mr. Garza. We do what we can. We certainly don't like issuing burn bans, but this August board does not control the weather. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Commissioner Fadias, you have the floor.
Mr. Garza, can you please check with Teak in College Station? They have real neat burn ban flag that we can add to our pole while the burn ban's going on. It's very
I
identifiable.
believe we do have some already. I believe maintenance has them. They put them up when we issue it.
He's right
And
there.
we take them down.
He's right there.
Oh, yeah, the burn ban flag, right? I think we have.
Okay, then no more discussion.
Any further discussion? Yes, sir,
Yes.
Commissioner Lynn.
If it be the will of the court, I would ask for an exemption for tomorrow. Skidmore Tyne has their homecoming and they burn the actual ST, and they'll have the fire department there to oversee everything. If we could,
Yeah, that's quite reasonable, and it's certainly not anything that I would want to prevent personally, rather than an exemption, maybe we just amend the motion to, well, I don't even think you specified, so it would have been immediately, maybe the Commissioner Legatus and Commissioner Fidias would consider amending their motion to push back the start date. Is that a couple days, Saturday? Is there, do we know of any other?
There might be more homecomings around,
I
so.
know it's tomorrow night is theirs, just, I don't know, Beeville, I think already had theirs.
You already have theirs.
Patty's has already had theirs.
Okay,
So we're not,
so to Wednesday,
Thursday should be.
Thursday?
October
Oh,
17th.
you're right.
October 17th, that's Thursday.
Okay.
How's that?
Well, Commissioner Olivares, now is the time when you would say something.
I'll make a motion to amend my motion to defer that date to 17th.
October 17th. So we have an amended motion, we have an amended second. I have an amended second. Any further discussion? Super glad you brought that up. That's definitely not anything.
My judge Moore did on Channel 6 News.
And I would put all the responsibility on you, or Commissioner Olivares. There's no further discussion or blaming being made. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes without exception. We have no items for executive session this morning. Moving on to agenda item number 25, adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes without exception. We are adjourned. Thank you all for your presence.